Is your state quietly heading toward an economic meltdown? Imagine waking up tomorrow. The markets have crashed, red numbers are everywhere, and the stability you thought was solid has vanished overnight. You flip on the TV. Every news anchor looks terrified. Markets are in free fall. Jobs vanish by the millions, and your state suddenly doesn't feel as safe as it did yesterday. This isn't science fiction. It's what economists quietly warned could happen in the next major recession or global downturn. But here's the thing. Not all states are built to survive a financial earthquake. Some would crumble almost instantly, while others might bend and hold their ground. Today, we're ranking the top 10 U.S. states most at risk of economic collapse based on debt, dependence on unstable industries, job fragility, and housing market exposure. By the end, you'll know which states might fall first and which could stand strong when the system starts to shake. The anatomy of a collapse. So first, what does it actually mean for a state's economy to collapse? It's not a single explosion, and it's a chain reaction. Step 1. Revenues vanish. When people lose jobs, they stop spending. Tax collections dry up. Step 2. Budgets implode. States can't pay their bills or pensions. Schools and public safety get cut. Step 3. Confidence evaporates. People pull money from banks, businesses close, property values tank, and suddenly it's not just numbers on a chart, it's your neighborhood. And here's the kicker. Every state has weak spots. Some are drowning in debt. Others are propped up by one fragile industry. Oil, tourism, tech, you name it. And when that one leg of the table gives out, everything crashes. Number 10. Florida, the Sunshine State's dark shadow. Florida's economy is like a dazzling beach, sunny, booming, and built on sand. Tourism and real estate drive its prosperity, but in a national collapse, those two pillars are the first to fall. When people lose jobs, vacations disappear, hotels empty, theme parks go silent. And when the housing market seizes up, Florida's property values nosedive. Millions of retirees and investors who rely on home equity would be devastated. The same sun that powers its growth could turn scorching fast, exposing how fragile that paradise really is. Number 9. New Jersey. The debt trap. New Jersey might be nicknamed the Garden State, but its finances are anything but fertile. Sky-high property taxes, astronomical debt, and one of the nation's worst-funded pension systems make it a ticking time bomb. Even before a crisis, residents are fleeing to lower-cost states like Florida and the Carolinas. In a collapse, that migration would explode, draining tax revenue and leaving behind a shrinking, overburdened middle class. Debt payments and pension obligations would swallow the state budget while infrastructure and social programs crumble. New Jersey is already living on borrowed time, and the bill is coming due. Number 8. California, the giant with clay feet. It's hard to imagine the world's 5th largest economy making this list, but California is a paradox. Enormous wealth built on extreme inequality. The state thrives on the tech and entertainment sectors, both of which are prone to bubbles. A severe tech crash, like a .com 3.0, would erase billions in revenue and collapse housing prices in Silicon Valley and Los Angeles. Add one of the highest tax burdens in America, and a government already stretched thin, and California could see an exodus of businesses and high earners, hollowing out its tax base right when it's needed most. The Golden State could quickly lose its shine. Number 7. West Virginia, the quiet collapse already underway. Some states collapse suddenly. West Virginia is collapsing slowly. Its population is aging and shrinking. Its coal industry, once mighty, has been hollowed out, and its poverty levels are among the highest in the country. A deep national recession wouldn't just hurt West Virginia, it could finish what's already been unraveling. Schools, hospitals, and public services would be stretched beyond the breaking point. It's a painful truth. When a state has been declining for decades, a national crisis can push it past recovery. Number 6. Arizona, the mirage economy. For decades, Arizona has attracted dreamers, retirees, and remote workers with its warm climate and affordable living. But that boom rests on two shaky foundations: real estate and water. If the housing market freezes, Arizona's construction and service industries, its beating heart, stop overnight. And then there's the water crisis. The Colorado River is drying up, and Arizona's dependence on it is existential. An economic crash would gut the funding for critical water projects, turning an ongoing drought into a migration crisis. When the desert runs dry, so does the economy. Number 5. Kentucky, the pension powder keg. Kentucky's problem isn't dramatic, it's structural. The state's pension system is among the most underfunded in the country. In a financial crash, that hole would become a crater. When investment returns vanish, Kentucky would face an impossible choice: slash funding for essential services or default on retiree obligations. Its manufacturing-heavy economy also makes it vulnerable to global slowdowns and supply chain chaos. In an interconnected world, when factories stop, Kentucky's paychecks stop. This is a quiet but deadly combination: fiscal fragility and industrial dependence. Number 4, Connecticut, the rich state running on debt. Connecticut looks wealthy on paper: luxury homes, top-tier schools, and Fortune 500 companies. But beneath that polished image lies a financial time bomb. Decades of overpromised pensions and chronic underfunding have buried the state in debt. Its economy depends heavily on finance and insurance, two industries that collapse first in market meltdowns. When Wall Street sneezes, Connecticut catches pneumonia. High taxes have already driven residents away, and in a major crash, that slow bleed could turn into a mass exodus. Wealth alone can't save a state when its debts are bigger than its future. Number 3, Nevada, glitter built on glass. Nevada glows bright until the lights go out. The entire economy leans heavily on leisure: casinos, entertainment, tourism. When people tighten their wallets, Vegas doesn't just slow down, it stops. During the pandemic, we saw a small preview. Hotels shut down, unemployment skyrocketed, and tax revenues evaporated almost overnight. In a full-scale depression, that scene would return, only worse. Nevada's economic glitter hides how paper-thin its foundation really is. Number 2, Alaska, when oil runs cold. Alaska's wealth is built on black gold, oil. But in an economic crash, oil demand craters. Prices plummet, and suddenly the state's lifeline runs dry. More than 80% of its revenue is tied directly indirectly to energy production. The permanent fund, which literally pays residents each year, could shrink or vanish. And because of Alaska's isolation, supply chains can't easily fill the gap. In a full-scale collapse, Alaska could face soaring prices, shortages, and a sharp population decline as residents head south in search of stability. Number 1, Illinois, the first domino. No surprise here. Illinois has been flirting with fiscal disaster for years. It holds the lowest credit rating of any state, staggering under hundreds of billions in unfunded pension liabilities. Political gridlock has paralyzed reform, while population loss accelerates every year. When the next major downturn hits, Illinois could face a total financial lockup: collapsing revenues, unpaid bills, and mass layoffs of public employees. Imagine a state government unable to function. That's not a theory, it's a very real risk. Illinois isn't just vulnerable, it's the most vulnerable. The patterns behind collapse. Notice the pattern? The weakest states share the same 3 traits. 1, unsustainable debt, especially pensions and public borrowing. 2, reliance on one unstable industry, like oil, tech, or tourism. 3, skyrocketing housing markets that can't survive a credit freeze. By contrast, the most resilient states, think Utah, North Dakota, or Tennessee, tend to have diversified economies, strong fiscal management, and lower debt. They might still suffer in a collapse, but they have breathing room. They bend, they don't break. What it means for you. So, what should you take away from this? If you live in a vulnerable state, don't panic. Let's prepare. Your personal resilience matters more than your ZEED IP code. Build a safety net. Keep 3 to 6 months of emergency savings. Reduce high-interest debt. Develop side income streams. Pay attention to your local economy, the industries hiring, the ones shrinking, and the health of your housing market. Knowledge is your best defense against uncertainty. Here's the irony. Sometimes, the states that seem booming today are the ones that collapse fastest tomorrow. Economic bubbles, especially in tech or housing, can make prosperity look permanent until the crash hits. Slow, steady, and diversified economies may not make headlines, but they often survive the longest. In the race through an economic storm, the tortoise still beats the hare. What about your state? Do you think it could handle a major economic crisis, or would it fall apart? Drop your thoughts below. I'm reading every comment. And if you found this video valuable, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to prepare before it's too late. Because understanding where we stand today might be the key to surviving tomorrow.